Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. For those of you who may be listening for the first time to this weekly show, during this hour we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today's show, we're going to start off talking to Monique Yamashita, who's the CEO of Kahale Akeola Homeless Resource Center. And for so long, I thought of Kahale Akeola as just a building that housed temporarily housed people. Mm-hmm. And then I kept looking at this resource center. There's more to it than that. There's got to be. And I noticed on your website, it's the House of Life. What an appropriate a statement to make. Right?
Yes, it is. It truly is. We have lives that are coming in and lives that are being rebuilt and lives that are just getting better for the most part every day as we see them and work with them at our facilities.
And these people come from all walks of life, and they're all coming there for various for probably the same thing. Excuse me, for the same reason. They're homeless, but they got homeless in different ways.
And really, Susie, homelessness is not a respecter of persons. Anyone can be touched by homelessness or has the potential to have to face that devastation in their lives. And there's many reasons why someone can become homeless. So it's not really a moral issue. Somebody's not a bad person and they become homeless. There's all these other issues that come about that can create homelessness for a person, an individual, such as job loss, underemployment. Somebody may have health or physical disabilities. Domestic violence is a great reason why many women and children become homeless. Poverty, we have veterans who are leaving the military and they don't have a place to go back to or a place to go home to. And then we also have relationship issues where divorce or a breakup of a family. Many reasons why someone may become homeless and then come to us in our facility to ask for assistance.
And there you are, ready to serve.
Here we are. Yes, yes.
So now, Monique, you just started in this position a few months ago, right?
Yes, March 1st is when I stepped through the doors of Kahale Akeola.
Whoa, that's quick. But you had a relationship with the folks over there through your previous work.
Yes, I used to be the Deputy Director of Women Helping Women, and we had a fantastic partnership with Kahale Akeola between the two agencies. Both agencies really have a great understanding of why someone maybe become homeless and the services that are needed for that person. So I know before I got to the agency, Kahale Akeola was very generous and always willing to help the women at Women Helping Women to get into that transitional housing that they really needed in order to get back on their feet into safety and self-sufficiency.
That's terrific. And so they knew you. The folks that run Kahale Akeola knew you.
Yes.
From that. And so it's no surprise they came knocking on your door.
I was really grateful. I was surprised and I was super grateful. And I was also a little bit heartbroken because I loved working at Women Helping Women as well. They're such a great agency. So I've often said I wish I could do both jobs. But physically, I probably couldn't.
In some respects, you're still working with Women Helping Women because, as you say, they come knocking on your door.
Yes.
For help and assistance.
Yeah, we still have a maintain and actually will strengthen our partnership.
Great. So now what should we start at the beginning? Someone comes in and is looking for the transitional housing or an emergency need. What do you provide?
Wait, okay, Susie, I actually want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
I want to take you back in time.
Oh, back to the beginning.
What I want you to know is our agency has deep roots in the Maui community. Very, very deep roots. So deep, in fact, that we are actually preparing to celebrate our 30th year anniversary as an entity agency on this island. But it actually goes back farther than that. So the roots of our agency really began as a grassroots where we had the Catholic Church came together and they saw a need in the community. They identified 4 needs, and one of them was to help those that are homeless. And so They gathered together, had meetings, and then before they knew it, they were adding on other churches, and they became an ecumenical movement where we had various community members that came on board to really get this shelter in place. And what's amazing, and maybe many people don't know this, is that the first shelter for our agency actually was through the Holy Family Church in Pu'unene. And they house the homeless. They did their best to grab things together, put up curtain partitions and sheet partitions, and they helped the homeless from that church. So it was a great and amazing start to our agency.
And as I understand it, the homeless kind of help themselves in keeping it clean because it's out in Pu'unene. That's an everyday job.
Oh yeah, with all the dirt that comes through and the dust and the wind.
Right.
Yeah. So they, but then they soon outgrew that church. They knew that wasn't going to be large enough to really help the homeless. So the island's been dealing and helping the homeless for a long, long time. And they got together, worked with other agencies, and got the plan started to actually build and get the current facility that we're at right now, which is at 670 Waiale Road in Wailuku, and that's
Right.
where our current facility is at.
Right. I think it's amazing when they talk about back, again, we're talking 30 years ago. I think the story goes 28 church groups, service organizations, local businesses volunteered to provide dinners on a rotating basis. And against all odds, they survived. The Kahaleaka Ola survived its first 5 years. And during those 5 years, it sheltered and fed and clothed more than 3,600 residents. We keep looking at the homeless thing like it's a current problem. Mm-mm. It's not. It dates back when?
Yes.
I mean, 3,600 people back in 1986. That's a lot of people.
And the numbers have, tripled and quadrupled. I didn't bring those numbers to you today, but I can tell you, we continue that work and have just continued to meet the demands and the need of our community members.
Wow. I'm just astounded. I caught that piece on your the history on your website, and I just sat there shaking my head. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But then according to your website, in 91 you started offering life skill classes to try to help the folks break that circle of homelessness and get out there, in classes in budgeting and parenting and communication. And you're still doing those today.
We are still doing that. So yeah, our mission basically is to break the cycle of homelessness, and whatever that means. So we're consistently and constantly looking at the barriers that people face who are dealing with homelessness, and life skill classes are definitely something that we offer. We have, of course, we have our emergency shelter. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, we actually have two facilities. So we have a facility in Wailuku on Waiale Road, and then we have another facility on the west side at Ipu Amakua in Lahaina, which is by the pool. So we have two facilities. Now, the one in Central is much larger. The one on the west side is a little bit scaled down, but it's similar, same services that we offer on both sides. So we have emergency shelter, we have transitional housing, we have a rental assistance program, we have chemical dependency education classes, children's services, childcare. Right now we have an organic gardening program, which is pretty amazing and fantastic and really very therapeutic for the children and the parents that take advantage of our gardening program. And so just as many classes as we can offer in order to offer our residents the maximum amount of help and services that they want and they need.
Okay, so let's kind of go half a step. And as we talk about the first contact, you start to look at the emergency housing situation for these people. That's really the first time they come to see you, right? They don't have a place to stay.
Correct. So one of the first things they'll do is they'll call us or they'll visit the facility asking how can they utilize our services. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I actually have an exciting announcement to make in that before today, we had two numbers that community citizens would have to call to find out if we have any availability. We've actually streamlined it down to one telephone number and one intake coordinator, so that we don't have to have the two numbers and confusion as far as if they're on our wait list, because we unfortunately do have a wait list. And so I'd like to give you that number today. This is our new intake hotline number, and the number is 242-HOME or 242-HOME. So anyone needing services or seeking services or just information can call that number. Again, it's 242-HOME.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're excited about that. It's been in the works for a while, so we're actually grateful that we got that underway. So anyone can call that number and get information about our services.
Okay, now when they call that number, they're making an appointment to come see you, or not you, but a caseworker or whoever, and they're applying to come into the transitional housing.
They actually would be calling us to get into emergency shelter.
Emergency shelter, okay. Oh,
So-
right, okay, that's the first step.
Right.
So now, in the emergency shelter situation, is there a time limit, or
Yes.
how does that work?
Yeah, so we would say that someone would be in an emergency shelter for 6 weeks, up to 6 weeks. So during that 6 weeks, we really help someone get stabilized, get them food, clothing, get them the rest that they need. And then a case manager will actually start working with them, that person immediately, to assess the needs that they have and work with them as far as what are their next steps. Where do they want to go? Our idea would be the next step would be permanent housing, because we know the way to end homelessness is to offer additional housing or to have housing for our residents. So they would work with the case manager, get to stability, and then once they get to that 6 week mark, if they choose to stay in the program, if they've met all of the marks that we have for them and they've set up for themselves as well, then they would move on to what we call our transitional housing program. And in that program, they can stay, we say up to 24 months, but actually it's not 24 months. We work with the family immediately to start getting them into housing, permanent housing, as soon as possible. And we have a system set up in place where we do have, in fact, I'd like to highlight this as well. We have rental assistance money, not only from the county, but recently the governor enacted the Coordinated Statewide Homeless Initiative. And in that program, they offered money to help our citizens get security deposit, rental assistance for a place to live. So we're actually going off of our wait list to call families because if they're only at risk for homelessness, they just need security deposit or they just need rental assistance, then we'll work with them so that they can stay housed wherever they're at. And so this is a great program that the governor has enacted through that program. And let me give you the telephone number for our audience listeners as well. This is a number that you can call to inquire about the rental assistance program. And that is 446-8129. Again, this is the rental assistance program through the governor's initiative, and the number is 446-8129. So if you have questions about it, or if you know anyone who might be needing those services, please refer them to that number.
Okay, so that's open to anyone.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone can call that number.
Okay, so they could be living in a home or have their shelter now, but maybe the rent's going up and they can't afford to stay.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the number to call for help.
Many families are couch surfing. They don't actually have their own dwelling unit. So if they're at risk or even if they're homeless right now, they can call that number and we'll look at helping them get into permanent housing.
Great.
Or stay in the housing that they're in.
I would assume that having a job is a need.
They would actually have to sustain the help.
Right.
So we would also work with them if needed. If they don't have that, we would help them to know what they need to do in order to get the assistance so they can,
Okay.
so they can stay housed.
Great. Okay. Now you've also got a chemical dependency program.
We actually don't have a program. We have a chemical dependency education program. So we actually educate our residents as far as what substance use is and what it does and how it affects their lives and how it can affect them in their permanent housing or keep them back into homelessness. So we work with them as far as how that is an obstacle to homelessness or to staying housed.
So it's more an informational thing than it is, you're not helping them get out of a situation where they're chemical dependent.
It's education and information.
So that they don't go there.
Correct. And then we would refer out to Aloha House or one of our other chemical dependency programs, Malama Family Recovery. We would refer out if they need those specialized services.
Okay, and then now, are most of the people who come in? Maybe this is a bad question. A lot of the people who come in have families, but you also have single folks.
Yes.
So if they have families, you have services for the kids.
We do.
Something to work with them.
We do have children's services, and in fact, right now we're working with the YMCA for the summer camp. So the YMCA has partnered with us. We have all of our children who are interested in the families, have them signed up so they can do summer camp at the YMCA. So we, as much services as we can offer our children to help them, grow and heal and come back to some type of a reasonable life. That's what we offer to our children. So
Cool.
We always try our best to work with the kids and get them services they need.
Very good. And on that note, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Come be inspired at the CIM Home Expo at the War Memorial Gym Friday and Saturday, June 10th and 11th. Explore what Maui has to offer with over 50 different contractors, architects, and interior designers. Talk to Maui's leading professionals in the construction industry about your upcoming project. Sign up to win a playhouse. The first 1,000 people will win a tote bag. Friday is open from 4 to 9 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, call 633-1686.
And we're back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with various executive directors of our nonprofit agencies to find out what they're doing to help those with needs in our community. And the first half of the show today is Monique Yamashita from Kahaleaka. I always get this messed up. Kahaleakeola.
There you go.
Say
You
it
got
slower, Susie. And it rolls off if you say it slow. And we're talking about the various programs that you have going over at Kahaleakeola, and the early history of the agency, and I think you've got some kind of exciting news coming up. Didn't you say something about? Didn't you want to do? Yeah, you want to do it now?
Well, I wanted to highlight Hale Makana.
Okay, let's do that first.
So we also have Hale Makana, which is our affordable housing units. We also have those units in central Maui, again off of Waiale Road, and then we have another set of affordable housing on the west side as well. So I want to make sure everyone knows that we have that housing as well, and it really is affordable housing where we go according to the federal guidelines as far as how much rent we can ask a resident to pay. So I wanted to make sure everyone has that information, and also to give you in the audience a telephone number to call if you would like those services as well. And that number is 446-8807. Again,
now is that like the next step, or sometimes when you have they've come in and they're in the first phase, and then they get into the transitional housing, and they can either go straight from that to a rental property out in the community, or they can go into yours.
Yes, absolutely. So many times a natural progression would be that someone would come into our emergency shelter, then into our transitional, and oftentimes they will apply to live at our Hale Makana affordable housing. So it's a natural progression that we see very often with our residents going through those different phases. And of course, once they get into Hale Makana, it's permanent housing. They can stay there for the rest of their life.
Oh, really?
And so, so they actually don't have to worry about being homeless again. As long as they pay their rent, which is affordable, they'll be able to stay there. And we actually have residents who still struggle, and we'll work with them to keep them housed as well. So we offer them all the services that are available in the community to stay housed at Hale Makana. So it's just a fantastic and amazing program that we have at our agency.
I'm getting the feeling that all three of these steps are full almost all the time.
Yes, they are.
So you mentioned earlier about a waiting list, and hopefully you're going to get some of those people off with the funding from the governor on homelessness. But it's so overwhelming.
It is, but there's hope in it, and I'll tell you why. We're actually going to reach out farther than our agency. So our agency is part of the Maui Homeless Alliance, or the Continuum of Care on the island. And part of the Continuum of Care is having this landlord summit, which is going to be amazing. They're inviting the landlords and the property managers of Maui to come to this summit and talk to other landlords and other property managers who have rented to people that have come, say, from our agency or from Family Life Center. So we can tell them that it's not scary and it's not a horrible thing, and it's actually a great and wonderful thing for them to offer their homes and their properties to our residents who are looking for permanent housing. So that I wanted to give you that information and when that's going to happen. And I would encourage any landlords or property managers out there to attend this summit, get the information that you want from our agency and other agencies that will be there. And really, again, the key to ending homelessness is to get permanent housing. So if we get people housed, we have less homelessness, and that's what we're looking for. So the number to call for more information is 270-7805, and that's for the landlord tenant summit, and that will be on June 20th from 10 to 1 at the Maui Beach Hotel. So I wanted to make sure everyone has that information as well so they can attend or get information.
Once again, that date is June
20th.
Okay.
From 10 to 1 at the Maui Beach Hotel in Kahului.
Great. Super. Okay. Now you also you wanted to talk a little bit about trying to do some renovations and.
We'll talk about volunteers. Okay. I want to tell everyone,
All right.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of our volunteers that come to our agency. I'd like to thank, you talked earlier about the churches that come in and have volunteer for us continually, and I want to thank all of those churches and places out there who have come in and made meals and fed our residents. It's amazing, and I thank you all so much for that. One thing that we have coming up with our agency with Holly Makana and also Kaliakeola is that we're in desperate need of repair on many of our buildings, and we would certainly welcome any contractors or anyone with some funds to come our way and help us get those buildings renovated and repaired. So they're 20 years old, 30 years old, so actually 20 years old. So we would welcome any assistance or help in that way. And you can call me. My number is 446-8133. That's actually my direct line. You can give me a call, and if you have funds or manpower or ideas to help us, that would be amazing. We really would appreciate it.
Once again, that number was 446.
446-8133.
And you get right straight to Monique's ear.
You sure do. And again, if we have our intake line, so if you even called our intake line at 242-HOME, your call would be directed towards me.
Wonderful.
I greatly appreciate it.
Wow. You're moving things right along over there for, 3 months worth of
Well,
work?
it's all a team effort, so I can't say it's me. I have a wonderful staff that I work with. They're amazing. Everyone's very caring and compassionate. Our board is amazing as well. So it's not just me. I've just stepped into a team that was already in place. And so I really appreciate it. I love the agency and the work that we do, and I want to just make sure that it's better and we serve more of our community members that are vulnerable, as many as we can.
That's terrific. Monique, you're doing a great job, and you're getting the word out, and hopefully somebody will call and say, we want to come over and do some work for you.
That would be amazing. I would love it. Thank you.
Keep up the good work, Monique.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you. And now we're going to shift gears, and this is something totally new and different for us. To talk to a group like this. They're not members of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association, but one of their members, actually the chairman of this organization, Paul Halverson, is the Paul Halverson that you hear on the commercials for Pacific Source. He is Pacific Source, and he is our sponsor and has been for 7 years, and we just couldn't do this without him. We thank him so much for his dedication to this show. And so when he said, do you think we could get a little bit of time just to talk about the show? And I said, how little? And he said, I don't care, a 30-second spot. And I said, how about 30 minutes? And he said, okay, I know just who should come over there. So we have Tricia Eggy and Tom Cook here from the CIM group, which is Construction in Maui, which is a fairly new organization, less than 2 years, right?
Right. I think Tom could give us a little better on the history of the construction industry of Maui.
Yes, Susie, construction industry of Maui has been in existence for 2 years. We're a nonprofit trade association affiliated with the Maui Chamber of Commerce. Previously, our group was the Maui Contractors Association, which was a 40-year organization.
Right.
For a variety of reasons during the depression of the last few years, it kind of unraveled. The Chamber of Commerce and we work together quite closely with them, and we've broadened our mandate And now the construction industry of Maui is basically a group to educate, basically to bring the building community together and advocate best practices. And we're have a mentoring program that we're implementing, working with the county government for working with the entitlement and permitting process, how we can streamline it, both educating.
Oh, would you please?
Both educate. Well, and I want to give the county some recognition. The processes have evolved over a period of years, so they're extremely complex and sometimes in conflict. And a lot of the ordinances are passed because of the general public, lobbying the county council, saying you should be able to do this, or you shouldn't be able to do that. And then the people at planning and land use and everybody they have to enforce it, and sometimes it's conflicting. So industry is going to work with the government, and the government's receptive to sort of map it all out, see if we can make sense of it, and collaboratively work together.
That's wonderful. I wish you well in that endeavor.
It's a big endeavor. It takes anybody who wants to contact CIM. You can go to our website, CIM Maui. You can also go to the Maui Chamber of Commerce, and we're a link on that. Mm-hmm. And anybody who's a contractor, a supplier, a trucker, a restaurant, our membership is really broad-based. And so we welcome anybody and everybody to join us in our endeavor.
That's great. And you do have an interesting list of members. I counted some 65 or so on the website, and I'm sure that's probably larger at this point.
And growing.
And growing. And after the show next Saturday, it'll be even more, I'm sure.
Right.
Now, is it too late for anybody to join and get into the show?
No, we're going to still accept applications up until Wednesday if any contractors or suppliers, designers, or other architects want to join the show. The only thing, they need to go on the Chamber of Commerce website, register, pay for their booth, and then contact me to get placement on the layout.
Okay, so we're talking about next Wednesday, a week from today.
Right, 1 week from today.
Wow, which is like 2 days before the show.
Right. So we have over 50 booth spaces sold, and so we do have room for a few more vendors if people want to join.
I got you. That's one show I don't want to go to. I'm sorry. But I get so excited about stuff. My house is like 11 years old, and it's time to start moving up, updating some things.
Right.
And I get in there, and that's the reason I don't go visit Paul very often either, because of his showroom. I get all these ideas, and I go home and I look around, and I go, oh, wow, wouldn't that be nice in there instead of that?
Well, it's good. It's good fun just to come and check it out. You bring your friends and your family, and we're going to have food trucks and food over there. But
you are? Good.
Just being able to walk around and see not only what's new, but meet the various people in the community providing it. And it's not like you have to buy anything at the show. It's becoming informed and understanding what's available in Maui. Maui has a tremendous amount of talent. We have some great businesses. You can buy local. You can go in and you can look at the materials, doors, windows, floors, carpet, and various things. A lot of people do their shopping online, and that's can be efficient. But when you come to building materials or design ideas, it's really nice to come to the home show, because you're going to be able to see sort of a whole mosaic of what's available.
Right.
And just get some exercise with the family, walk around and have a good time.
Right. There's always somebody who has a game or something that they're playing, or...
Right. So in Kamalani's affordable housing project, we'll have a sign-up booth at the home show, so you can come and learn more about that development.
Good.
The first phase is 170 units of affordable housing in Kihei. So they'll be there, AIA Maui, so you'll meet a dozen different architects from different architectural firms will be there as well. Maui Fire Department's going to have a keiki ID booth where families can get their picture ID card for their keiki, and tons of architects and suppliers. It's going to be a really great show.
Neat. So when you decided to, you obviously knew you needed to have an organization for your group, and because of things falling apart with the old group, this was a good chance to kind of it's not really a reorganization, it's a start over.
Well, it's really becoming more contemporary and more relevant to Maui. We are much more than simply a contractors organization. We're actually much more than a builders organization. But the construction industry is really broad, from design and field work. People think construction, plumbers, and contractors, but there's also procurement, human resources, finance, design. I really encourage a lot of Maui's youth. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity in our industry to get really good paying jobs and to be on Maui. We've been recently working with Baldwin High School. We hopefully are planning on broadening it with a mentoring program so that people from businesses in the community go into the schools and work with their career pathways programs and basically help the students recognize the value of the soft skills. Oftentimes when someone comes to apply for a job, your certification and your degree and that's all relevant, but how do you handle yourself? How well a communicator are you? Can you state what you're looking for, and basically the interpersonal soft skills. In the schools, I have a tremendous amount of more appreciation for the Department of Education and what our teachers and principal and administrators are having to deal with. I admit in the past I was a bit of a critic of the public school system, because if you just hear from the media and whatnot, it's really easy in our community and our society now to kind of complain. But as I've gotten to know the principal, Catherine Kilborn, and various people over there, they're really hardworking, very caring people. The mandates and the rules and the regulations that are passed down on a federal level are really burdensome. And so, but the community, working with the schools, working in the schools, can really contribute. It's not all about money. Money isn't going to solve everything.
Right.
People's heart, aloha, participation, I like these two sentences. How is it going? What do you need? Just basically being receptive and being willing to participate instead of just judge.
Interesting, right? Well, and I think when you're talking about going into the schools and talking with kids about the different options that are out there, there are so many different kinds of jobs within the construction industry in total. Whether you want to sit at a desk, whether you want to be on heavy equipment, whether you want to be outside, inside, up on the fourth floor or down in the basement, planning it or designing it or cleaning it, whatever the case may be, that I don't think that there are too many kids who know the whole realm of possibilities under that umbrella of construction.
One of the things that it's in a planning stage now, but basically being able to do small video medias of each industry, because what you said is very accurate. When we talk to children and show them the whole list of, I should say, students. Well, youth, Maui youth.
Youth. There we go. There we go. They're not kids. They're
not
youth.
Kids.
Good point.
They're not really quite sure what a welder would do. So doing a little 2 to 3 minute video of what an interview with someone, showing what type of work they do, and then the cool stuff, everything from industrial work to a race car to art. There's a variety of things that trade. Surveying is really a super cool, interesting thing. AutoCAD, design, but that's on our list. So anybody who wants to contact us and work with us, we could always use some assistance, both creatively as well as financially, to implement some of these ideas. And we're trying to do things that are replicatable. You spend the money and you do it, and you can continually show them. And if, depending upon how interested people are, it can be extremely broadly available.
Right.
But that's our mission, to educate and advocate, be positive members of the community, and try and work with everybody. Make Maui all we can be.
There you go. There you go. And I think that one of the things that comes out of this is the more people know, the better they can work together, and the better the situation as you're working with the county folks, county, state, whoever, on all these rules and regulations and overlapping of responsibilities, if you will. You start to see something happening there, because everybody starts to understand how that happened and how can we fix it. I keep saying they need a navigator over there who can take, I've got a set of plans. I want to build this house. Can somebody just take it and go through the system? And, I mean, it's great that you can look on the computer and see where it is, but if there was a navigator who's responsible for getting that thing through, or until it comes to a stop because something's wrong. You know what? Talking about coming to a stop, we got to take a break, don't we? Okay, we'll do that right now.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Come be inspired at the CIM Home Expo at the War Memorial Gym Friday and Saturday, June 10th and 11th. Explore what Maui has to offer with over 50 different contractors, architects, and interior designers. Talk to Maui's leading professionals in the construction industry about your upcoming project. Sign up to win a playhouse. The first 1,000 people will win a tote bag. Friday is open from 4 to 9 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, call 633-1686.
Vendors.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the radio show where each week we talk story with folks in the nonprofit business world about what they are doing to help the folks here on Maui. And we're talking with a new nonprofit, the CIM, which stands for Construction in Maui, who is having, this is actually your second show, isn't it? Or is it the first?
First home show.
Oh, it's the first home show. Okay, a second year, but the first home show. I got you. And we're talking about things in the construction industry, and Tom Cook, who was talking here before the break, we were talking about how to bring more people into the construction industry, and just to show them all the magnitude of jobs that it takes to make something happen. Because in today's world, there's no such thing as a general practitioner, is there? Not in construction, anyway. Gone are the days where somebody can go out and say, I'm going to build a house over there, and just go do it. And so who does it take to do this? How do we do it? And looking at the list of members in the Construction in Maui organization, you do have, as you said earlier, you've got bankers, you've got developers, you've got contractors, you've got suppliers. What am I missing? There's a whole other list. Tricia, you want to talk about them?
Coffee store.
Yeah.
Coffee. Oh, that's right. There is. Yes.
So we're having a home show next week. It's Friday the 10th from 4 to 9 and Saturday the 11th from 9 to 4. So the home expo will be at War Memorial Gymnasium, and we have dozens of vendors for everyone to meet. We have plumbing suppliers, plumbing contractors, flooring contractors. We have Maui Fire and Flood for, home remediation. If you ever have an emergency, you can meet those people beforehand. Maui Closet Company builds custom cabinets on Maui, and they're also licensed contractors. We have insurance vendors, Honsador Lumber, Maui Windows and Doors, Alexander's Design and Remodeling, painting suppliers, and just tons of suppliers for everybody to meet and talk to and see their products.
Speaking of windows and doors, that's your line.
It is. I'm with Maui Windows and Doors.
Maui Windows and Doors. And what all, is it just windows and doors?
We do all building materials, but primarily most of our business is retrofitting windows and doors or supplying whole house packages. So any type of glass product or window and door product.
Interesting. And where are you located?
We're located in Maui Lani Shopping Center next to the Safeway in Wailuku, right across from Baldwin High School.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a 3,000 square foot showroom over there with
I
tons of
remember
displays.
seeing the sign.
Yeah, the logo's kind of like a shield.
Yeah, okay. You were one of the first ones in there.
We were definitely one of the first ones in there right after Leslie of the Realtor Group next door.
Oh, okay.
And then we have a dentist down the way. He's really great. Smile Suite. And we just got 24-hour fitness down below us.
Oh, really?
Not 24. Anytime Fitness.
Oh, anytime.
Anytime
Whoa,
I think
okay.
yeah, Anytime Fitness down
Okay,
below.
so as you're facing Safeway, you're in that building to the left. There's a parking lot between you and that building.
Yes, the other row is more like restaurants and such.
Gotcha.
Domino's just opened up in there.
Right.
There's a Supercuts, a
Supercuts.
water store.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some other restaurants in those other buildings.
Yeah, interesting. Well, everybody says that Domino's is packed all the time. They're just...
It is. It's surprisingly good for fast food pizza. I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
fast food pizza, but Domino's is really good.
Yeah, somebody brought some to the office the other day, and we inhaled it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. So, okay, that's where you are. So people can come in there and take a look?
Yeah, they can come in. We're open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. We have licensed and insured installers. So my installers typically will spend their time either doing, one little vinyl window replacement for somebody in Wailuku that just has one broken window, or they'll be installing like a 30-foot pocketing door in Kapalua for the contractor that doesn't want to do the big giant statement door.
Whoa, yeah.
So my crew will do that, or whole house packages, whatever anyone needs. We're kind of one-stop shop for windows and doors.
Interesting. And Tom, what's your claim to fame?
I'm a general contractor. I currently have a new company, Cook Synergy, where I do construction facilitation, and that's basically to work with the communication between owners, architects, and contractors.
Where the communications break down.
Hopefully nurturing it along. A lot of times, if you don't want to throw money at a project. A lot of times, what you want to do is just communicate more.
Right.
So, from my experience, I'm 61 now. I've been doing this on Maui for 32 years. And I've learned a lot. And oftentimes, in hindsight, communication, lack of communication or miscommunication is one of the things that, if you could rewind, that's what you would address. So anyway, that's it. I love to build. I like working. CIM is a passion for me now. Really want to work with the community, the county, affordable rentals. Affordable housing is important, but affordable rentals is chronic.
Yeah.
So many people are just a week away from homelessness.
Right.
And we're talking about working people, working families. So Maui's gone through so many changes in the last, I've lived here for 46 years, moved here when I was a kid. And it's a great community. It's challenging to stay on top of because we have so many different opinions. And lately, the opinions have become very loud and very somewhat abrasive and aggressive.
Outspoken and moving, yes. Yeah, created a lot of moving targets out there. In speaking just briefly to your comment about the communication, I know of a person who thought they were building a house that was going to have vaulted ceilings, and when it was finished, it didn't. And they go, well, when did that get changed?
So often, people's ability to read plans and the terminology, and oftentimes people can't or won't pay for the design fees. And that's one component that where things like that happen. So somebody can just say, I want it like my cousin's house, and they walked through their cousin's house, and their cousin had a vaulted ceiling, and they went like, yeah, mine's going to be just like that. And that's where the expectation was. It's not on the drawings.
Right. Well, in this case, they contended that it was, and apparently at some point when it got down to money, there was a quick discussion, a very quick one, according to this person, that was the expensive route, and I guess something was said, and so the designer just took them out. And when they got down to finished plans where they were signing off on things, they signed off on the standard ceilings, and it's like, no, how can that be? And then of course the comment that I heard later on was, Well, didn't you ever go look at the house when they were building it? Did you notice it didn't have vaulted ceilings? I mean, the trusses were kind of strange for vaulted ceilings.
Right. And I don't, catching it at that time too, the project would have come to a screeching halt. So why people decided who was going to pay to do it twice.
Let it go. Yeah. So I can appreciate from just that one story that I know of, that conversation and communication. Maybe a third party would have been handy in that situation. Yeah. To see what the owner really wanted and how they could get it, because the two sides were kind of on opposite sides at that point, I think.
I would encourage people when they're going to build things to plan on spending a lot of times discussing it and in the planning. It can be fun, but also make notes, keep copies of paperwork, sketches, and that's points of reference. Something I bring to the table is a contract should be a tool and not a weapon.
Good.
It really is a communication tool.
Right.
It is you have the plans, the specifications, and the contract, and within that, everybody should be able to have an intelligent dialogue about the project. And if you can map to those items, and oftentimes it's to just say, I don't understand. Could you,
Right.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words. And in the building, cutting out magazine pictures,
Yeah.
taking photographs, that really can help in communication, because most people, if they're not in the building trades, even simply the terminology can be
Right.
confusing. So anyway, I like to
Yeah.
build. Anybody needs
Cool.
help building, call me.
There you go. Okay, very good. And I can't envision things. I can see something, I say I like it, and that's where the pictures come in. Take a picture of it. Don't try to explain it, or don't. And on the other hand, I don't know what options there are, where somebody like you does.
Well, and that's where a designer like Trish's company, they're really great to work with, Maui Windows and Doors, and but they have a broad base of experience. So when you talk to them about things, they can just steer you in the right directions. Maui has a really good design pool. We have a lot of talented architects. We have a lot of talented engineers. So, like I said, Maui has a lot of talent. And
Cool.
try and hire local as often as possible.
Right. Well, there's certainly a lot of construction going on right now around town.
There is.
There is. We need
building
more
back up.
affordable homes, and
Right.
they can be built. The materials, the labor. It's really the land use issues
Right.
need to be addressed. I think
Right.
if developers would have a less restrictive path to getting a project approved and done, we would get a lot more affordable rentals and affordable homes.
Right. Well, in talking about rentals, I know that the big subject that comes up with a lot of people is the extreme increases in rents that we've gone through here in the last 12 to 18 months. I mean, it's shocking to me, and I just had a friend who does have some rental properties the other day who said there's a lot of gouge 'em out there, and I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, I've got the same property as somebody else that he compared it to, and he said, I rent it for $2,400 a month. They're renting for $2,900 a month. There's no reason for it, except that they can get it. I mean,
It's hard. It's
it's hard to
painful.
say. I mean, and I know that if you bought a property with rental unit on it today versus maybe some time ago, you're probably going to have to pay that price.
Yeah, your
because
cost basis might be much
it's
higher.
higher. Yeah. And so I don't know. It's a hard one. But when we come down and talk about affordables, you're going to have some people over there, right? You got
Yeah, we have
the new project in Kihei,
Yep, Kamalani.
right?
So they'll have a booth there with sign up sheet, and Steve Baker is a realtor for Kamalani. He'll have a booth there, and he's also giving away 3 $100 gift cards. He's gonna have some little drawings. So.
Okay.
And a lot of other vendors are going to have giveaways, so it won't just be like pens and pencils. They're giving away gift cards. We also have 3 playhouses, like 4 foot by 4 foot child's playhouses built by local contractors, built and designed,
Cool.
that we're going to give away. So it'll be great. People are just going to check in on Facebook, and then they can fill out their information for the drawing. so totally free.
Interesting.
And they'll be really
Yeah.
adorable.
And the show is free.
The show is free and parking's free.
No admission, parking's free. And so again, we're talking about the CIM Home Expo, War Memorial Gym on Friday, June 10th from 4 to 9, and on Saturday, June 11th from 9 a.m. to 4. Any last minute thoughts you want to throw out to the community?
I hope everybody registers to vote and participate in our electoral system. Maui needs everybody, especially all the people who are born and raised or long-time roots, to basically speak up and share their opinion. We need people to participate, and I'm hopeful that the county council race is really well participated in this year.
Right. I'm in total agreement with you. Sounds good. Yes.
Yeah, Maui Chamber of Commerce and Maui Windows and Doors is going to hold a joint construction industry of Maui Pauhana event in August, and we're going to get the candidates there so we can do a debate, and it's open to the public, so anyone can come. Just look at Construction Industry of Maui or Maui Windows and Doors Facebook pages for more updates on that. We should have it on there in the next week or two with dates and times.
Great. Thank you so much, Tom, Tricia. Thank you for
Susie.
being with us.
Aloha.
And have a great show.
Thank you.
Okay? Thanks a lot. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community source by Pacific Source, community service. Hello. Let me start over. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. Today we visited with Monique Yamashita from Kahaleakeola. There it is. Okay. Give her a call if you're interested in volunteering to help them with some renovations, 446-8133. Or if intake is the line you need to talk to, that number is 242-HOME, H-O-M-E. In the second half of the show, we talked to Tom and Tricia as we talked about the CIM Home Expo coming up on next Friday and Saturday, the June 10th and 11th. For more information, call 633-1686. This has been a busy day. We've learned a lot today. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week right here on Wednesday at noon on KAOI Radio. That's 1110 a.m., 96.7 FM, 96.5 FM on the west side, when we'll be featuring representatives of two other member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Any last-minute thoughts, guys and girls? Come on, we got a couple seconds. Throw something out there. Come to the show.
We're really excited about the Home Expo next week. We hope everyone can make it. Tell your friends and your neighbors. And if you're a contractor, supplier, or subcontractor and you're interested in having a booth, let us know. We still have a few spaces left, but there'll be over 50 vendors for you to meet. There'll be food trucks, fire department, architects, just tons of people. It'll be a great event.
And if you're ever thinking about having a house built, this is the place to go.
For sure.
Or if
rebuilding or remodeling, go to the Home Expo.
Or doing renovations or
Yep.
whatever. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.